Alright, what's up guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity build a video. Today we're going to be doing a low-level Contest of Mayors walkthrough. This would be Hopo. Alright, so premium task is the abbreviation P. Non-premium is NP, and that would be a task that cannot be worth 3,000 points, making the second task here on the list a error, okay, because non-premium tasks cannot be worth 3,000 points. Now, across from that, you see R. R is rotatable. A rotatable option is an option that is less than 2,000 points and can be used to open up more main tasks. M is for main task, which is a task that can be worth at least 2,000 points or higher and is one of 3 or more obvious choices in your list. Now, as a low-level player, you are unable to do upgrades, right? Because you're camping. So the idea is that you're stacking up those upgrades before you start streaks. Now, the streaks you want to aim to start right around 20 tasks remaining. This allows you to kind of get through them at the end of the Contest of Mayors and not use all of your tickets if you don't have to, okay? So a lot of people have been having trouble with the upgrades as low-level players, which is ultimately going to be the hardest part about playing low-level CoM, knowing when to cancel those upgrades if they're of too high value, knowing when to cancel them if there's too many too early on, and then knowing how to get them in if there's not all 7 in the list, okay? So it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of looking ahead, and a lot of people just don't look ahead. They only look at what they have. They don't look at what they're trying to get or what they're not trying to get or how things can go wrong. So the next thing is HP. Now that is for high premium. That can be worth up to 3,600 points. Now we have the rest of this task assessment here. So let's just quickly go through and say what we know about each task pertaining to this specific player. Setting the scene, she is a level 24 player. So she only has X amount of factory slots available to her. Actually, she's level 24. Okay. So here she has a 3,000 upgrade in her starting list. Now, given the fact that she has that 3,000 upgrade and it is taking up one of her 3,000 point spots, it's very early on. What this would mean is that if she does not cancel this, it could potentially cause her to not get as many good tasks in because it's holding that 3K place value. Now, looking down below, she has a main limited time premium, which would be the war assignment. Okay, now that would be her first obvious choice because we kind of want to see what the game's going to give us. For example, we don't want to cancel right off the bat because let's say we cancel and then we get a 3,000 upgrade in return. Whereas if we were to at least test the waters with a different assignment, we could see if a bunch of upgrades are going to flow in immediately, right? So try not to cancel on the very first task. Okay, you always want to test the waters and see how your list is going to be to you. That being said, the war deliveries is going to be the first obvious choice. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's keep looking. We have a 2,400 design challenge upgrade. Now this one is at its highest value point. Canceling it is not a good idea because it will likely not come back right away. It'll probably come back in the streaks and it'll just cause you problems. Okay. We also have a 1680 on wood. Now, that being said, that is a pretty decent valued task, but I know that she has prepped long factory items in her factories, and, you know, clearing those out right away for wood, probably not a good idea, but we'll have to see how things go. Now she has a high premium limited time launch legendary. That would be something that I would rotate as soon as able, okay? So, 1,200 on chairs. What this means is if she has anything else prepped in her furniture store, that she can just pick up one. So like if she prepped blue text, just pick up one, use the yellow arrows, drop down one chair. Okay. We got a non-premium repair for 1,200 and keys. That means that those do not get done unless you're in reverse rotation, or if you are done with the streaks and you get into a point where value trumps up, and those are your highest values. Now we have a non-premium epic project at 1,200, which is probably going to need rotated, especially at that value. Now we have a non-premium last resort rotatable option, coins. Now a lot of people don't know when to do coins. Coins is done when you have like nothing else that you can rotate. You only need to get a couple more good tasks in, you know, before you start the streaks. Or if you're trying to get in that final upgrade, that's another one that you can try. Then we have a monster at 1,000. We never do the monster at this value. We only do it at 2,000 or higher for the purpose of opening up that points value, not for the purpose of opening up the opportunity of the task itself. Every time you rotate an assignment, is because it benefits you in some way, okay? It either benefits you because of its value, or it benefits you not only because of its value, but because of its opportunity. Certain tasks come back way more frequently than others, providing very little, if not any, opportunity at all. If an assignment is only going to come back immediately, and you're trying to get better things to come in, then it would stand to reason that you would not want to rotate those types of assignments, right? Especially when those types of assignments can only be worth a certain amount of points. So ideally, you want to rotate the ones that can be worth the most with the best opportunity. And that is what we've done, is we've broke all of those assignment down into subcategories like main, rotatable, premium, and non-premium, right? So the very first choice here is going to be that war delivery, okay, for 2,500. Now, she does that, and she gets a premium Tokyo, okay? This task can be worth 3,000 points, but it's only there for 1,000. Now, we have a choice. We can either cancel this upgrade for 3,000 points and hope that if it does come back in, it comes back in with a low value, or that it opens up something better. Or we can clear out a bunch of factory production time and go with the wood. Or we can go even lower and rotate in that launch legendary. So here's where you look and you think, okay, what would be the right choice and why? Well, the best way to go about that is to go to the Contest of Mayors math formula. Math formula 1 is to look at value, value op, and op. Of those three options, because they're the highest in the list here, the cancellation could open up potential possibility to bring in something better, right? The wood clears out a bunch of factory production time, and ultimately, we still have that upgrade that we have to deal with. The launch legendary is significantly lower than both of them, but it is a high valued premium. It's limited time, but we know that war is just started. So there's really no reason to rush that when we have these other options. So now we can pretty much conclude that it's going to come between canceling or doing the wood. Now, if it was me, I would have canceled, okay? The only reason I'm not going to say that if she did the wood that it was wrong is because I can also understand wanting to do another rotation or two just to test the waters. I would not want to throw away that much factory time to do a wood task, to have to cancel and probably a task anyways, you know? That's just me. So I would have canceled here. So she does the wood. Okay. Now she gets a 1920 on nails. All right. So now, like I said, now here we are in a position where she's rotated 2 assignments. and she has that 3,000 upgrade sitting there. Okay? We can continue to rotate all of these things down below, but that leaves us less time for that 3,000 upgrade to come back in the main list before streaks, right? So we ultimately, if we are going to cancel, we want to cancel with as many rotations left as possible, allowing enough time for those to come in. So here, I absolutely would have canceled, okay? So she cancels. All right. Now, she gets an 1840 on glass. Now, I don't know what she had prepped. I'm assuming she had prepped feed. So at this time, she gets a glass task for 46. She has 40 total slots that she can utilize. Meaning what she's going to need to do is she's going to need to put down 6 to 10. I usually round it up in case the game miscounts. She's going to put down 10. And then she can, or she can do it in a half-half split, right? So she can do like 20. And then when she has to pick up the second round, that leaves her with 20 slots on both rounds. Or she can do 10 and then take up all of her factory slots anyways, because I usually do it that way. Because once you collect the, one half of it, it's not like you can do any other assignments in the meantime anyways. But some people who play a lot, they like to do that so that they still have factories available to make things if they need them. So whichever is more comfortable for you, that's what you would do. I would recommend laying down 10 glass and then proceeding on working the rest of her assignments. Now, nails is obviously the next choice. It's the highest premium. It's the highest value. It's got great opportunity. I would get the nails done. Okay? So she does nails. Okay. Now we've got an 1800 on cargo. Now, cargo is non-premium. 1800 is its highest point. Now, here we kind of have a little tricky situation. So we need to look at the fact that, think about it like this. Every time that you look at a list, you'll notice that there is a variety of values, okay? Now, the way that it's set up is usually you have like a couple high-valued ones, a couple midway, a couple low ones, and at least one 800, right? Now, that being said, you're never going to open a list and see all 3,000 point tasks, right? So knowing that there has to be a variety, we want to look at what the most variety is that we do have. And right now, we have an 18, 18, 24, okay? That's 3 tasks right around that value. Then we have 1,200, 1,200, 1,200, 1,200, 1,200, 1,200, okay? Now, all of those 1,200s, besides 2, are non-premium. So, we want to look at the highest premium with the best outcome. Now, right now, we have that 1800 cargo compared to what? What's the next best thing in the list? Well, we've got that 1200 launch legendary attack. So let's do the contest of mirrors math. Which one's better in value? Cargo. Which one's better in value opportunity? Cargo. Which one's better in opportunity? Launch legendary. What's the value possibility? Cargo is only at 1800. Launch legendary is 3600 value possibility. What's the value difference? 600 points. So what we're looking at here is, do we want to take 600 points less to open up better opportunity and bring in better assignments with a limited time task? Or do we want to take the extra 600 points now? Which one is correct? Well, given the fact that we have 2 assignments, only 2 assignments right around that value, we have plenty of space in our list for good things to come in. It's not like we're sitting here with a whole bunch of 2,000 and 3,000 point tasks and then rotating this low point premium here. So we have room for something good to come in. So rather than waste the cash and the resources and rotating cargo right this second, knowing that we're probably going to rotate it eventually, we should open up all best opportunities then we rotate something like that, right? Once all the good opportunities are opened up. Because think about it like this. If you don't open up the good opportunities first, then you rotate, you have completely eliminated all possibility of that assignment being possible, right? That's what a lot of people don't understand, especially high-level players. They'll have all their low premiums in their list, and they'll rotate the thing that has a couple hundred points more for the points, not thinking like, hey, the complete possibility of getting any one of those tasks of high value is completely gone, right? So we know that even if we rotate cargo, we know that we're not going to get a launch legendary for 3,600 points. It's not going to happen. It's impossible because it's already there, right? So we know we're also not going to get a Tokyo delivery for 3,000. Now, that sucks as well. So I would have went with the launch legendary, and she did cargo. So that is mistake number one. Now she gets a 1,600 upgrade. So an upgrade came in. Okay. Now we're going to look at doing what? She's going to look at doing that launch legendary. Okay. So she does that. Now she gets a 3,000 delivery to, I believe that's London. Okay. Now, obviously, this is a main task. It's premium. It's 3,000 points. It's the obvious choice. Okay. Now she gets hammers for 1,440. So now that is the highest premium aside from that glass task there. However, we have to look at what else we got going on here. So what's the next move? Is there anything that would open up better opportunity here? Well, let's look at this. What is the value possibility on hammers? Probably 2,100, I believe is the highest I've seen it for, 2,190 or something. So we can take the 440 value difference and compare it to the Tokyo delivery, okay? Now, if it was me, I would have sacrificed those 400 points and actually went with the Tokyo delivery to open up this possibility. I understand why, if she chose hammers, why she chose it, but I'm telling you guys for the future that when you're in a value difference this low and you have a situation like this where your average is not good, you need to open up opportunities. You're working one place value that hasn't been good to you. This is where you look at the math and you go to the history part. Remember how I told you guys to look at the history of your assignments? You're not just looking at how many times you've done the assignment. You're looking at the history of the place value in which you have rotated, okay? So going back through all of your previous choices here, you've got that 1,200, you got the 1,800 cargo. You know, this place value has not been very great to you, to be honest. So I would have actually went with the 1,000 Tokyo delivery to open up that possibility first. Now, she went with hammers, okay? And it opened up that 3,600 old townhome. That's not a good sign. So now we're in a situation here. We have another 3,000 upgrade, or actually higher than that. It's at its highest value point. 2 upgrades have come in the last 2 rotations, meaning the game is giving us upgrades. We've only got 8 tasks done. And we've already got 3 upgrades in the list. 3 out of 7. Okay? So at this point, canceling the upgrade right this second is probably not a good idea considering 2 just came in. It could easily come right back. So we need to see how many we can stack up before we do anything more. Now, we're looking at the next highest opportunity here, okay? The next highest in value, the next highest premium. We've got chairs for 1,200, and then we've got that Tokyo delivery. Now, the chairs, what's the highest value possibility on chairs? Probably 1,900, maybe? Something like that. What's the algorithm on chairs? It's a shop production. How many times do you see chairs in your list? Not very often, right? Maybe once, 2 times max, usually, unless you're in a loop. But when it comes to Tokyo delivery, how many times do you see that one? It can come in quite a bit, right? What's the value possibility on Tokyo delivery? 3,000. Okay. So saying what we know about each one of these assignments, what's the value difference? 200 points. Now, do we need to take those 200 points now and possibly, or do we take those 200 points now, or do we take the 200 points less and open up a value difference of basically 1,000 or more, right? Like, so essentially, if let's say chairs did come back, the odds of them coming back for 2,000 is slim, but let's just say that they did. We have the chance, a much higher chance, of the Tokyo coming back for 3,000. So I would have rotated the Tokyo delivery under these circumstances. Now, the reason that we're not pausing and doing the glass is because we really can't afford to take that kind of downtime, especially for an assignment that has a medium algorithm rate and is below main task value. Okay, so it should be being worked on. She should have placed down 10 of those. You cannot waste all of your active wartime. When I tell people that they need to, move quickly, you have to know when to move quickly and when to pause. If you have other options that you can utilize and the assignment that you have let sit is not blocking anything, then you are free to do that as long as you're getting things done. Because what you don't want to have happen is you dink around with an assignment like that and then you can't do anything because now you've wasted all of your active wartime, right? Okay, so the delivery to Tokyo would have been correct. She did chairs. Now, why would she do chairs? I'll tell you why. Because this player is looking at... Hang on just a second. This player is doing the classic that a lot of people do. And the reason that I'm going so in detail with this is because so many of you guys make the same mistake. So, what is she doing? She's looking at value. She's looking at op. And she's leaving it at that. She's generalizing it that all premium tasks have equal opportunity. And they don't. Okay? A 1,200 chair task brings less opportunity than the Tokyo. Okay? Now you learn this really, you really grasp this concept when you're a high level player. But when you're not a high level player, you have to consider shop productions and factory productions as a premium task. When you're a low level player, you do. When you're a high level player, you don't consider this a premium. You actually consider this a non-premium because you know that it cannot be worth 3,000 points. It never will be. Okay? As a low level player being unable to do upgrades, we have classified this as a premium. So what you guys need to do is you need to memorize what you know about each task. You need to refer to the CoM guide. You need to think about what's the highest you've ever seen an assignment go for. Okay? Go think about what the algorithm rate is on that, and then weigh out your options. What would be better suited to come back? Okay? So that's what she's doing. She's making it to where she's generalizing the fact that chairs is premium and has good opportunity, as the Tokyo delivery is premium and also has good opportunity. When really, in all reality, it's 100 times better assignment for the delivery to Tokyo. Okay? So, what the hell? We got... So she did chairs, and she got that 2,000 delivery. Now, she did a task assessment, so here's the next thing. When you do your task assessments, usually it's because you're stuck and you're trying to categorize, so, put your stuff into subcategories and make sense of what you're looking at. Well, it helps to label things properly. For example, she labeled the 2,000 war delivery as a rotatable option. That's a main task at 2,000 points or higher, so it should have been marked with an M, not an R. Okay? She has a no-touch cancel on the 3,600, which is correct, and a no-touch on the next upgrade, which is correct. Rotatable option on the glass, rotatable option on the Tokyo. No touch, not no touch cancel, it's no touch. Okay, we're not going to cancel the design challenge. Then we have a rotatable marked on the repair and the keys. Now that actually should be marked with like an NT/LR. So like a no-touch last resort rotatable. You know, normally I would say don't mark anything no touch unless you do not touch it for the duration of the contest. But under the crazy, you know, once in a million time chance that you do go into reverse rotation or something, then you would start changing those. But right now she's definitely not in reverse rotation. So we have the coins at LR, we have a no-touch on the monster, and then we have a rotatable on the Paris. So from here, what do? Well, obviously we're going to go with the war delivery. It's the main task. It's 2,000 points. It's great an opportunity. It's premium. It can be worth 3,000 points. But when do we cancel that old townhome? Or do we cancel it? Do we leave it sit? Don't know yet. We need to rotate a few more things. We've only got 9 tasks done. Okay. So she does that. All right. Now she gets a 2,000 VU assignment, which makes that what? A main task? What do we know about that task? It's premium. Okay. It's come in for 2,000 points. Not its highest value, but not its lowest value. So we're going to go with the VU. Now she gets a 3,000 upgrade. So the upgrades are still coming in. So that being said, we really cannot afford to cancel yet. Okay. We cannot afford for that to happen. So right now, I would actually rotate the Tokyo, okay? The delivery to Tokyo. And the reason being is because if we are going to get these upgrades rolling in, let's get them rolled in so that we can cancel them as soon as possible and open up better possibilities for ourselves. It's also a premium. It's also the best option right now. So she cancels. Now, I would not have canceled here. And the reason being, like I said, is because if you go back and you look at when the 1,600 came in, then we got that 3,600, then the 3,000. That was only a few rotations ago. So look at the fact that we have a total of 11 to 12 tasks done. Of those 11 to 12 tasks, we've already done 1 cancellation, and we've gotten 3 more upgrades in. Think about that. That's almost half of, just about 40% of your assignments have been upgrade related. That is not a good time to cancel. If that thing comes right back or whatever, I mean, ideally we want to stack up as many as we can, as soon as we can, then cancel. Okay? So I would have waited on that. Now, she cancels, and she gets a 2,000 launch attack in Club Wars, which she obviously does. Then she gets the VU, okay? Now she gets the 1,800 cargo. Now, she's done this one already, okay? So, here, we have kind of a situation. We've got this 1,800 cargo that we've already done once. And we've got this glass still floating out there. We're on how many days? So 5 days, 11 hours. So she's, is that 1 hour or 11? Hold on, 1 hour. 5 days, 1 hour. So she's been moving rather quickly, all right? So we still have probably some time on the glass. I would have, again, rotated that damn Tokyo. I don't know why she hasn't rotated the Tokyo. Okay, so she does that. She gets the war card upgrade for 3,000. Now she gets the 1,600 common war attack. So now we're, what, a couple rotations in. She gets the 2,000 London, 3,000 Tokyo, 1,700 on wood, 3,000 on VU, 2,400 on, what is that? Latin. Okay, so a couple rotations later, about eight tasks or so later, roughly. 8 to 10 tasks or so later, she got another upgrade, okay. Still, she hasn't rotated in that Tokyo. I don't know why. Okay, now, this shit makes no sense to me. So, again, I have to think about what... When I grade your guys' list, I look at what you guys are thinking. I look at what made you pick this, okay? So when I tell you guys to look through your options and go to the math, let's say I'm just speaking to you and I'm asking you a question. What's the highest in value? Well, you're only looking at what you can do. You're not looking at everything that's in the list. Keep in mind that the game is not working like that. Okay, the game works like it's given you high tasks. So whether you've crossed off the fact that you can do them or not, doesn't dispute the fact that they're still sitting there. So you need to be aware of how many high value tasks you have in your list, whether you can do them or not. So you've got a 2400, a 3000, an 1800, another 2400, and okay, so of those, that's actually a pretty good amount of tasks that are of a high value, okay? Now, by doing this particular assignment, what have you opened up the possibility for? You've opened up the possibility for what? An epic task to come back. Now, what is an epic task main algorithm? What's the algorithm on an epic task? Usually comes back a couple of times, and then it either stays away or it's there again, usually of a low value, right? But it usually does come back for at least 3 times, which is why you guys are told to pause and try to get as many epics as possible into one house. Or one, as many assignments as possible into one epic. So, that being said, at this value point, at the fact that the total amount that an epic can be worth is 2400 max, what you're saying is that these 200 points are more valuable to you than doing the Tokyo for 1000. That the algorithm being medium on epic and the fact that it's non-premium, think about the value difference. If Tokyo comes back for 3000, that's already 600 points more than the epic can be worth if it comes back at its max value. So, why would you rotate a non-premium with a 200 value difference when you have so many high value tasks already in your list and you have low premium options in your list that bring better opportunity? Doesn't make sense. You're going for value here. You're trying to snag any bit of points anywhere you can get them, and you're not thinking about what is to come in. You're only thinking about what's in front of you, and that is what so many people do. They're like, 200 now, 200 here, 400 here. Okay? Then they get an assignment that's like 1600, 2000, 2400. Meanwhile, the person next to them went, nah, keep your 200 points. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to gamble here, there, and everywhere. Now I got a 3,000, a 3,600, and a 3,000. See the difference? I mean, it's huge, right? Okay, so she does that. She gets a 3,000 VU. Now she gets an 1,800 on sugar. So let's reassess the list again. She's got 1,800, 2,400, 3,000, 1,800. Look at all those assignments that are 1,800 or higher. None of which are really doable. Sugar's not something that you want to mess with when it's below right around 2,000 points. Okay? Given the fact that it comes back quite a bit, and the fact that we've got 4 days. She's 17 assignments away from streaks. She still has several upgrades she does need to get to come in. So looking at this, why are we going to continue to rotate up here when we have all this going on down here? We've got that Tokyo. We've got that Paris down at the bottom, which we're going to use as like a last resort. We've got the coins we can use to bring in an upgrade if we get desperate. But right now we have that glass that I don't know why the glass hasn't been rotated yet, because we're going on a whole day now. That glass should have definitely been rotated by now. Okay, I don't know what her bedtime schedule is. And usually what you try to do is you try to, prep the second half of the glass first, collect it, and then you know, place the rest down at bedtime, wake up in the morning, collect it. That should have been done already. So somewhere, wherever you went to sleep, you made a mistake not doing this glass, okay? I can't say 100%, you know, what you got going on with certain things because I don't know what your daily schedule is. I have to know your bedtime schedule and things like that to say for certain what you should have done and when. So I'm doing the best I can with what I know about you guys and your schedule, okay? Now, she rotates the glass and she gets a, so let's see here. We had a 416. So she rotates the glass, she gets planks. There's those hammers for 1,800, okay? Now, the 1,800 hammers, I would actually do those before the Tokyo because it's an 800 value difference, not a 400 value difference. So, doing the hammers, why the hell did you do that? Come on, man. Really? I don't understand this at all. So, you've taken all this downtime. My guess is, no, I don't even think we're on a downtime for war. But even if we were, that wouldn't matter. So, you take extra downtime to get sugar done when you know that it has a high algorithm rate and you have a premium for an equal value with better opportunity in front of you that can be done on a token. So no downtime. Okay. That doesn't make any sense to me. So this was a big mistake. Okay, so now you've got an upgrade war card. There's that 1,800 cargo. Yippee skippy. So, how many times has cargo popped up now at 1,800? I think this would be number 3. So, obviously hammers. Now we've got a 3,000, right? Yep, 3,000 delivery. Okay, would have been nice to open that one up down there at the bottom. Now we've got an 1,800 on ladders. Now you just did a planks task, so you should have plenty of planks for that. And you've got the same kind of situation as before, where the value difference is pretty significant, so I would have went with the ladders over the delivery. This right here, I can't make sense of this. So let's sit down and I ask you, why did you pick this? Give me a logical, good reason for picking this. Just one. Is it premium? No. Does it bring good opportunity? No. Have you done it? Mm-hmm. How many times? No. 3? Okay. So, you give me one. Just one good reason for doing that. Just one. There isn't one. So, why? That's what I want to know. Why? Because this is the kind of crap that irritates me, you know? I spend all this time grading people's lists and teaching people and things, and it only does good if you actually retain what I say, if you actually listen to what I say, right? So how many things do I have to say? How many times do I have to say something in how many different ways before it starts to sink in and people start to actually listen? So I'm really curious as to what in the hell, why in the hell you would pick that. Out of everything on here, you picked that. You would have to not be thinking. You would have to just be doing whatever. What? You didn't want to wait for the ladders? What? I don't understand. Because now you're picking out of convenience again, if that's the case. And how many times do I have to say that that is not what you do? I mean, the idea here is that when you win, that you benefit, right? So if you're doing cargo for 4 times at, what, $10 a piece? That's 120 cash you're spending to rotate something that can only be worth 1,800 points. 200 less of the overall average that you're aiming for. So when the algorithm is coming back time and time and time again, you had no reason to do that whatsoever. 2,000 on feed. Okay? So you've got several days left. You can prep the feed. You've got 10 tasks until streaks. So don't know what time of day it is for you. Don't know what you got going on, but that is an option. So here we are minutes later, and you're back. You're doing the ladders that you should have done to begin with. Okay, dude. Now you've got a main task that's VU that's been good to you. And now you rotate this after... That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. So, let's go back to here. 2,000, 2,000, 2,400, 3,000. How many more high assignments do you think the game is going to give you? You see where I'm going with that? Like, you have a main task here. This task has come back quite a bit, but it hasn't come back for 1,000. It's been 3,000 points every time, pretty much. So why wouldn't you rotate it? It has no downtime, it's premium, and it's there for main task value. That should have been done, right? You're too close to the streaks to cancel any upgrades. Now you do that, and you get a 1,500 on Melon. Now you do the VU minutes later. Now you get a 3,600 on an upgrade. So now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 upgrades. You still need 2 more. You're 7 tasks away from streaks. Now, let's see. You really have no choice but to take that downtime for feed to get it done before, because here's the thing. Either you're going to do the feed and you're going to get a bunch of upgrades roll in, then be able to do the streaks in 20. Or you're going to be in a situation where they don't come in right away, and you're going to have to move into, continue on without starting streaks at 20 tasks remaining. That being said, given the fact that you have 4 days left, you do have enough time to take the downtime for the feed, and if it did come back in the streaks, you could still make it just fine, right? So the fact that you still have 7 tasks before you can even think of starting streaks, I would have paused here and just got the feed, because you have too many. You got to think, you have way too many assignments here that are 2,000 points or higher. You can't afford to cancel. And if you continue on doing things like Melon and whatnot, the odds of getting tasks that are 2,000 points or higher are slim. So taking the downtime to open up one of those main task valued place values would be more beneficial to you overall than the speed, considering you're only 1 day into the contest and you're about halfway through, right? So this was a mistake. Okay, now you've got that upgrade there. So another 2,000 point task that is kind of working, against you here. You really do need to do the feed. Now you do this. Okay, so again. Out of this entire list, you explain to me why this was a good choice. What on earth led you to this? I cannot even think of one good reason again. Was it the value? No. Was it the opportunity? Couldn't have been. There's no opportunity with keys. You know that. I've only said it every damn video for 97 million videos. Okay, so what else? You know it's going to come back. You've got to... What about time? Are you hurting for time? No. Tasks remaining? Are you close to streaks? Yeah. That might be why you didn't want to do the feed, was because you're close to streaks. But look at the time remaining. Look at how many assignments you have for 2,000 points or higher. What other options do you have here? What is a last resort rotatable option? That is the rotatable option that you would go to before doing keys or repair, right? So coins would have actually been better than keys, because even though it's like 75 points less or whatever, it has the ability to stay away indefinitely or for 6 rotations, or it has a much higher chance of staying away. Now, it usually does come back, but we know keys does. We know it. It's not a matter of, well, maybe not. We know it does. So that was just ridiculous. So you get your 3,000 VU, and then you get your next upgrade. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 upgrades. All right, so here we are. We're at 7 upgrades, 24 tasks remaining. Four days left. You've got, oh my God, 2,000, 2,000, 3,600, 2,000, 2,400, 3,000. You've got pretty much 50% or more of your list taken up with main task value, okay? So odds are if you do streaks right this second, you're probably not going to get very high value tasks. Now that you've done like 4 more tasks, you really don't have a choice here. Here's what I would do at this point. At this point, I would... Let me see what you did. Yeah, that's what I thought you did. Okay. At this point, you have to kind of look at what you got going on. All right, so let's stop and play this through. If you start streaks now and get it done now, you'll end the streaks with all of your tickets, right? Plus some assignments. Then you can cancel if you need to, or get the feed done, you know? See where you're at on the leaderboard. You may not have to use your tickets. I don't know. But then again, you're going up against a group member. So what I would want to do is I would want to open up as many of these high point value tasks as I could, as quickly as I could. Now, you can't cancel them before the streaks. So I would want to get the streaks done as soon as possible, given the circumstances of my value points here. I would have started the streaks here. Got the streaks done. Got them out of the way, got that feed going as soon as I could. Depends on your sleep schedule, depends on your wartime, all that stuff. Then, depending on the leaderboard and what we're looking at by the time you finish, we may need to cancel one of these 3,600s to open up a place value. Don't know yet. That's what I would have done. I would have went and got the streaks done. Now, in your situation here, this makes no sense. I don't understand why you rotated this in. You had all 7 upgrades, right? 1, 2, I just want to make sure. 1, 2, 3. I think you have all 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, you had all 7 upgrades. Why did you rotate Paris? Why? It's non-premium. It costs cash, which you've already spent plenty of. It's at 800 points. So, a pretty big hit against your value. I don't understand why you did that. I mean, you know that it's going to open up the possibility of that coming back in the streaks. That doesn't even make sense. I can't even begin to explain that one. I don't know if it was like well, it's too early to start streaks. I don't want to touch the feed, so I'm just going to, what? That's the only thing I can think of. But even then, you should have realized how many high value... I mean, you guys, how many times do I tell you guys this? You can only get so many high valued assignments. It doesn't do any good to rotate low ones if you don't have any room for any more to come in. So, oh my God. At least the game leveled you out there, right? Okay, so you get your upgrade. You've got your 1,600 on chems. At least that's in the main list. Please tell me you don't touch that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Really? Really? Two rounds of chems. $1,600 points. 2 assignments before streaks with all 7 upgrades in your list, all at main task value. And you opened up the possibility of them coming back, not only in the streaks, but in your main list as well when you're done with the streaks. Over... what? I don't understand. You have all 7. God. Okay, dude. So... I'm gonna break this phone if this thing doesn't flip here. There. Get your 3,000 war card upgrade. What? Now I'm confused. Am I missing a screenshot? Hold on. I've got 22. 23. Okay, so... okay. So you didn't do chems. So your screenshots are just mixed up. Okay. That's better. Now, why did you do repair? Don't understand. You're 1 task before the streaks. Why not just start the streaks? Okay, now you need to do this one. Okay, the VU for 2,000 you need to do. Because that one means that you have no possibility of it coming back in the streaks. And you don't remember stuff. Really? I'm starting to sound like The Sims. Explain this to me, man. I don't understand the logic. I'm about to lose it. Why? It's not set in stone that you have to start the streaks at exactly 20 tasks. Why would you leave another main task to sit? You have all these main tasks. Now you're going to get, like, garbage in the streaks. And you have 0 possibility of that VU assignment coming in the streaks. 0. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. Well, there's your epic. Oh my God. There's the Paris. Epic. Factory. Cream. I'm surprised you got any high ones. 1,600 on the keys. 2,000 on the repair. 1,800 on cargo. How many times have we done cargo now? Man, that was a hefty bill. That's like 150 cash already on cargo. That sucks. 1,600 on repair. 1,600 on seeds. There's the hammers for 3 times already. There's the chairs. Okay. 1,600 on wood. Damn, you got a lot of factory productions. Good thing they were low. 1,760. It's like 6 times on cargo now. Wait, whoa, back up here. So now you're on streak 6. You got your tickets. Okay. And hammers for 4 times now. That's not out of your choice. Okay, so with these high-value tasks, you're not going to have to cancel. Feed, obviously. What? Really? You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Why would you do that? You had 3 days. 3 days. You know you're going up against a group member. You know it's going to be a damn close call. You already know you made enough mistakes. And you, oh my God, for what? All right, You want to know what's fucked up about this? She got second place. 19,340. Hold on. Okay. So, she's going up against a group member. This is the end right here. Like 400 points. Okay? So, he ended up failing a streak at some point because he didn't get, that upgrade to come in or whatever. But the point I'm getting at here is knowing that you're going up against a group member, you cannot afford to just say, I don't need those 160 points just because. So, with the mistakes that you made, can you imagine how pissed you would be right now if you lost over 100 points? Think about that. Like, think about how stupid that was. That you chose to do chems over lawn chairs. And you chose to take almost 200 less points or whatever for nothing other than your own convenience. You can't play like that. You guys, you might get away with this crap when you're playing up against people who don't have a clue what they're doing and you're in the lower leagues. But when you go up against people who know what the hell they're doing and you start to level up and you start to actually play against people who have some sense, those types of mistakes will ruin you. You think about this for a minute. How annoying is it when you spend a whole week busting your ass, prepping assignments, waking up in the middle of the night, setting alarms, taking time out of your day to collect and working, well, you should be working your brain for your choices, and then you lose. And you not only lose, but you lose over a couple hundred points. Not because of anything other than you're not paying attention. All of that time, all of that cash, all of that effort wasted because you're not putting in enough effort to understand the content. I've got players that come in, they bust their butt to understand the content, they listen, and you can tell they listen because once they hear it, they don't do it anymore. Okay? If you can't make sense of your choices, if you can't give me good reasons for every choice that you're making, you're not giving it 100%. And if you're not giving it 100%, then why am I wasting my time with you? That's how I feel about the situation. Okay? So anybody who's in my group, anybody who I take time out of my day to train, I expect they give it 100%. I expect that they really actually try. And when I spend hours upon hours of my time, my free time, training these people and saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and they don't listen, at some point I just throw in the towel and say I'm done. You're not understanding, you're not trying to understand. So the best thing that you can do is to actually listen to what I say in the videos, okay? Actually think before you make your selection. Go back through your choices and you look at some of the ones that we discussed in the video and think long and hard about why you actually picked what you picked. Like what you did, the 1600 on the chems, there was no reason for that. You had 3 damn days left and you just like, fuck it, I don't need those 100 and some odd points. Knowing that you're going up against somebody who is playing just like you. Knowing that it's going to be a close call. And you just said, I don't need them. That is ridiculous. Now, going back through a couple of the mistakes that you made, you would have won. Absolutely. Like, no questions about it. You guys may be together for a long time. Unless one of you levels up. Okay? So, either way, you do need to start understanding the content so that when more and more people get good, that you guys can keep winning. Because when it comes down to it, when you're playing up against somebody who's playing the same way as you, it's gonna be a very close call. Okay?